we're not doing My Immortal this week, but we're gonna finish it on the next 2 episodes after this one. So if you're sticking around for that or anything, that we don't want you to be let down. Okay, watch the episode.
Or else I'm gonna kill myself.
Yum, that's good. That's beef, babe. Oh, I'm about to beef.
So,
James, start us off.
you guys know how, if you get rabies, like, and then you get the shot, you, like, have to get the shot in a certain amount of time or it, like, melts your brain and kills you?
The shot or the rabies?
You have to get the shot within a certain amount of time after the rabies, or else your brain melts and you die. You know how that happens?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure tetanus is the same way, but do you guys know? Because I think I cut my hand on some sketchy metal yesterday, and I just dipped it in, like, vodka to kill the germs, but I don't know if that kills tetanus, so...
Well,
Just
okay, hold
define
on.
sketchy metal.
Yeah.
Well, alright, so there was a bug in my room yesterday. I was freaking out. Went to
He
battle
was
with
made
it.
of metal.
Okay.
I went to battle with it with a sword and a flip-flop, a chancla. That's always my combo for bugs. Because they always go
So
up to the
excellent.
ceiling and
Dual-wield.
I can't fucking reach them, so I have to coax them out with the sword and then fucking slap their shit. So
Right.
that happened. And then I was like, where did this bug come from? So I pulled up my blinds. I have like slatted blinds to see if my window is open or something. And then this is the first time I've pulled up the blinds in the 5 months I've lived here, and then they wouldn't go back down. So, because I think I pulled it too hard, there was like no slack left, so I couldn't like pull it to the side and make it unlock. So I had to take it down out of the thing, and then I had to like go in and push some buttons and fucking put my wiener in it, and then I went to go put it back, and I have my camera mounted, like the window's right behind my camera, and I went to go put it back, and this shit's like 40 pounds. It's like so much metal and slats and shit, and I dropped it, and it landed on my camera, and then it was about to like rip my camera off the mount, so then I went to go grab it, and then it did rip my camera off the mount, and it sliced my fucking, it sliced my thumb open, and then the thing that goes above the blinds, that's like the little barrier at the top, fell off and it hit me in the face, and it was just a bad time. But that's what
sounds like a bad time.
Yeah.
So I cut my finger open on like nasty old apartment window blinds.
I mean,
You'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I feel like you'll be fine. Like I don't know. Like
Beef Boys fans in the comments, tell us the symptoms of tetanus, and hopefully James will listen to next week.
I feel like tetanus is one of those ones where like you can't prevent it. Like you can't get a preventative shot, but you can get one like right after the fact that saves your life. But if you don't, then you die.
I thought you can get a preventative shot. Like I feel like when
I don't know, but I know rabies for sure you can't.
Yeah, I think tetanus is one you get.
I thought we were still on tetanus. I forgot we were in talking about.
We are. We are on tetanus.
There's 2 types of like vaccinations you can get against something. It's like one is before to prevent, and like one is right after to counteract. And the one right after is a lot more important, because like if you don't do it in a couple of days, you die from shit like that. So I was trying to figure out if tetanus do be the one before or the one after, because I don't want to die from
I feel
blinds.
like tetanus is one of the ones you get when you're like young.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got tetanus when I was like 6.
Okay,
yeah,
like I think that's like
also,
a young
I think
thing.
you really only get tetanus from like rusty nails and shit you find outside, not a blind in your house. You should be good.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me.
All right.
That reminds me. I did have a friend one time when we were walking through like he lived in like Escondido, and there's like a lot of parts in Escondido, California that have, it's just like a bunch of dirt.
Sounds like a GTA
patches.
Sounds like a made-up name.
Yeah, right. So like when we were kids, like we were walking around in there, and he stepped on a fucking wooden plank with a rusty nail sticking out of it and went through his foot. That was like the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in front of me.
My dad had that happen to him.
Wait, you've had a nail go through your foot? Or you...
Who are you talking to?
You.
I've done something similar.
No, me and Kuda said something at the same time. I didn't want to take charge.
He's like an NPC. Who are you talking to?
Kudos and I said something at the same time. I wanted to make sure I didn't like take control over him.
Cody, play
Andrew, you better be
please put the Oblivion NPC.
Andrew, you better be careful if you keep impersonating those. It's a pipeline to murdering your wife.
That's true. That's fact.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll bring up.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in 7 seconds. Andrew, you've got 6 seconds.
Andrew, what did you do?
I was just playing with a friend, and I stepped on some
with
boards,
a nail.
and a nail just like, and I, you're young enough and small enough that you're kind of light, and so I got enough of my weight up on top of this nail that it like I was suspended, and then it just straight through my shoe. It didn't go through my foot, but it jabbed me pretty damn good. That didn't feel good at all.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think my dad's had that happen as well, and I remember we because he always was doing up the houses we lived in when I was growing up, and so there's always just like old wooden nails and shit like lying around our property that he'd dump in some places. So I had a couple close encounters with a couple of rusty nails. So and also built a tree house that was that could have been Rusty Nail City, but somehow didn't impale myself.
When I was at Andrew's house in Alaska in August, Courtney was taking something out of their fridge, and the railing.
Rusty nails.
Yeah, exactly. We chill those in Alaska.
Mason
before
jar
you put
of
them in the
rusty
wood.
nails. This is how we do it in a non-liberal state.
The railing on where the condiments go, like on the door, like you kind of like put it in over it and it keeps it from falling, fell off, and then a gigantic, like I don't even know why a human being would need this size jar of Alfredo sauce fell off and shattered everywhere, and it was fully and unopened. Like their entire kitchen just looked like a big fucking cum stain. Like it was insane.
What if that's what it was? That's why there's so much of it.
Yeah,
the cum jar.
It's the Andrew cum jar project.
Oh no, Mom found the cum jar.
He's like, you only get so much of this in your life. I need to recycle.
James, are you telling me you were on a trip with the Andrew Miller, and you had a chance to take a photo of what looked like a giant cum explosion in the kitchen, and you did not?
Well, I didn't because right after that, Courtney was like cleaning. Well, I was helping her clean up. Andrew was still sleeping. It was like 1 in the afternoon, and fucking shit exploded. Glass went everywhere. But Alfredo sauce is so thick, especially when it's cold. It's like we couldn't fully see all the glass, so we thought we got everything up and we kind of cleaned it, and then like 30 minutes later I was walking, and you ever be like walking inside and like barefoot and your foot just picks up like a little dust or something, and you kind of like wipe it off on your other foot because it's annoying you. Maybe that I always walk around barefoot, so that relatable moment for barefoot people. But So I stepped on a piece of glass, but it was flat, and I just like kept walking on it. And then I went to go wipe it off on top of my other foot because I just thought it was like a piece of dust. And then it fucking sliced my foot open, and then I was like Alfredo sauce glass cum blood on my foot, and like it's one of those things where it's like an intentional movement that you don't want to be like, it's just dust, so I'm not going to be slightly about it. So I just like grinded it into my foot. And I never noticed, but I just looked yesterday and I still have a fat fucking scar from it on my foot. It's pretty wild.
God damn.
Oh,
That's a memory.
I've done that
fun.
a few times actually. I did it at
Really?
the old place because we had some glass break, and so there was like tiny specks of glass.
Yeah,
that
it
we
was small
found
as fuck.
for weeks later, and I did it I think 2 or 3 times. I was like, dust, and I would go scratch the fuck out of my foot. I was like, God damn it.
It sucks too because you get like really thorough. You get a dustpan and brush, and you get every fucking scrap you can find, and then there's still just one that just like sits somewhere.
Yeah, no, we were totally
For, like,
super
weeks.
thorough about it. I don't even know where the fuck it was.
I like to imagine you like Andrew wakes up, comes out, and he sees like James hunched over, and then like Courtney covered in fucking Alfredo cum sauce, and James is like, "No, wait, I can explain."
And I'm bleeding, and he's like, Courtney, what did you do?
Now I'm really confused.
You never do that to me.
in my kitchen?
So, TikTok guy that likes to make NPC Skyrim murdered his wife.
Yeah, well,
How do you guys feel about
can I get a TLDR on that?
Real quick,
So-
when James put in the talking points that Skyrim guy killed his wife, I didn't bother to look it up. I spent the whole day thinking Todd Howard killed his wife.
Yeah, he texted me that at like 10 o'clock at
Believed
night.
it? You're like, yep, that makes sense.
I was
That
like,
checks
cool.
out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, he could have. It's within the
could've.
realm of possibility.
That is
Fucking-
very true.
So
all the
just
bad
some
reviews got him.
Yeah.
some dude that and it's not the I mean, people have been doing like NPC Skyrim memes forever, but
yeah,
I can't remember their names right now, but there's like brothers on YouTube that do it that kind of popularized it 3 or 4 years ago. Not them. So if anyone's thinking of them, it's not them. Those guys are great. But there's a guy on TikTok that got big for it like a year and a half ago. He's been making like Skyrim shit. I feel like that. I don't think he's ever done anything else. That's just like all he does. So like, no, I guess no one really knew anything about him. But it's like,
niche, I guess.
But it's like string beanie like nerd that makes Skyrim content. I guess is like, to me, is the most unassuming person ever. Like you're making specifically niche Skyrim content or like Elder Scrolls in general, and then it's just and then he just doesn't post for a couple days because people on TikTok post like 40 times a day. He doesn't post for a couple days and everybody's like, oh, what's up? And then it's like, this guy murdered his wife and and her friend who he thought was cheating, but they actually weren't. And then he picked up his daughter from school and just drove around until the cops found him.
God damn.
Holy shit.
This man makes Skyrim content. It's not like he even makes like crypto content. Like he doesn't make fucking OnlyFans. Like he makes Skyrim.
Daddy,
it's funny too
mommy?
because
She took an arrow to the knee.
No.
The kid knows
it's
that
funny
it's
too because
4-year-old.
like there's like statistically so many people who commit murders or do shit like this, and with the internet it's so much easier for people to make a YouTube account or TikToks or whatever. So it used to be that like people would do shit like that, like kill whoever, and it'd be like, man, that's who gives a fuck. But these days, because there's like, you see news articles pop up like that, and it's like the guy from the famous Skyrim meme kills wife, and you're like, he was in like one meme once or something, and you're like, apparently that's news.
It's crazy though how like, I guess like for everybody, but for girls mostly, it's like I think they were like kind of separated, and she asked him to move out and stuff like a few weeks before, and like he did. And then like he started stalking her, and she was trying to get a restraining order, and he like broke into their house without them knowing and installed an app where he could listen into their devices in their house, like on all their devices.
What the fuck?
And then like he went over there because he heard a guy in there, like a male voice, and like he just snapped or something. And it's so crazy for everyone, but mostly women, that like if you shack up with a crazy dude, like you basically die. Like a really crazy dude, like that's it. You can do everything you're supposed to, like completely right, and you even go to law enforcement and everything, and like most of the time law enforcement will just like tell you to shove a stick up your ass while they just sit in their little fountains of fucking money and tanks, but like you do everything right and then you just get murdered like every single time. It's so disgustingly frustrating. It's like ridiculous.
Many such cases.
Not all of them get to die by the famous Skyrim TikTok guy.
That's true.
Some get to die by the famous Trump impersonator on set.
Oh, Alec Baldwin.
That's the one.
No, that was the joke. I just realized that was the joke you were making.
What? I thought you were just sarcastically adding on to it.
No.
I feel like we need to explain why at least half of us are all brain dead right now.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, we're all very low energy, but we're gonna try to make the best.
Well, we're not low energy. We're just low brain capacity right now.
I'm always low brain capacity.
Tomato, potato, pistato.
I got the blue light filter on my brain.
You got the blue balls filter.
I do have that.
You're up until like 5 a.m. or something trying to troubleshoot our latest episode. Which
I want to talk about the last episode. So,
it's just like,
all right. So for those of you out there that work in post production or just have any kind of fucking pinky inside of the Adobe suite, you know how frustrating it is to work with these garbage fucking products. Here's the thing. I was working on the last episode, which I edited the first portion, and Courtney so graciously did the table read, and it was giving me the biggest fucking issue. It would not export. Literally took 2 days. I fucking stayed up hell late. It kept jumping like, oh, it's gonna take 64 hours to export, and it wouldn't work. So eventually I just sent it to Courtney and I had her export it, but something went fucky, so then it made my audio like only on the left ear, like Internet AJ, and then it made Andrew fucking track like 3 frames down. It fucked the whole thing. I hate Premiere. Fuck you.
Yeah, dude, it was so funny watching it back. It was so funny watching it back because I woke up before all you guys, so I sent this in chat. But like, I woke up and finally the episode we figured out, we got it out. Andrew stayed up mad late, Courtney and Doblik stayed up mad late, and then I went to go watch it. I was like chilling in the Discord with people when it went live, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go watch back the episode. I didn't get a chance to peep it, and then like within minutes I realized that Andrew's audio had like completely drifted in front of everybody else's. In some, I guess maybe the transfer or something, but like Andrew would tell a joke and it would be dead silent for 5 seconds. Genuinely 5 seconds. And it was so, like, I feel so fucking bad for you. And on top of that, not only were your jokes, not only was Premiere making your jokes feel like they were flopping, but on top of that, since you were ahead, Doplex would be making like a, you know, a somewhat obvious pun or something, and you would like finish it before he did, even though you were actually responding to him. So it sounded like you were completely stealing everybody's jokes too. It was like so bad. It was ridiculous.
Oh.
So what if it's connected that episode?
yeah, that's true.
What if you find out that actually, this is actually Andrew's POV? Like this is the one time we've actually got his timing right, and you realize all of his jokes do bomb, and he steals everyone's jokes.
He's fucking big brain. We just like Discord lag makes him seem normal, but he's actually a fucking god.
Yeah,
I'm too snappy.
My brain hurts.
But yeah, sorry about that episode. It happened 2 weeks ago too. That's why that episode was, or like 2 episodes before this, the one we're talking about. So 3 weeks ago, but. This episode was only a day late. That one was 4 days late for the same exact reason. It just Premiere deciding if on the 40th try it wanted to export it. Like there's no like we had no way to fix it. It's just keep hitting export and moving little things around until it makes it past the
That's my favorite kind of Premiere thing. I've only ever had that happen in one video, but it was the Cyberpunk one, and it was just like that was the worst thing. Every time it would arbitrarily get to a different point. Like sometimes it would get 10 minutes in, other times it would get 2 minutes in, other times it would get 16 minutes in. And it's like, well, okay, what the fuck am I? So what I ended up having to do is split it into 2-minute chunks, render them all, and then, you know, like 6 of them would fail. So I just re-rendered those ones, and then 3 of them would fail, and then so I just keep having to do that until I'd finally
it's like a Zelda puzzle.
All the chunks. It literally was. It's dude, it's so frustrating.
I hate it.
The same thing happened to my Cyberpunk video too. I feel like, and it's like all with like big projects and shit, because that was like a bigger video for you, especially at the time. Not like in length, but in like scope, and like, you know, it did really well for you and everything, and like. And the Bolt the Beef episodes, I mean, were some of our longest with our coolest sets in between Beeftober, doing my Immortal at the end of every episode. So it's like, it almost feels like, and my Cyberpunk video is by far my biggest and most intensive video. Like, it feels like as soon as Adobe gets too much shit in it, it just like, rather than telling you, hey, we don't have enough capacity to fucking keep doing this, it's like, it just lets you keep going, and then when you want to export all the work you've done, it's like, no, actually, you overloaded us.
Yeah.
And Adobe's like, oh, this one gonna be a banger, and then just shits itself.
Yeah, and it's not our computer. We all have like really good computers. Like it's totally software. It's not hardware.
No. Premiere, suck my dick. Fuck you. Whoever's in charge of Adobe, I want you to listen up. This is for you.
I will say, despite how shitty Premiere can be sometimes, I will never fucking use Vegas or any other piece of software.
Vegas
so funny.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Every time I see people on Twitter bit like that, it's totally like, here's alternatives to Adobe products. Like, because Adobe fucks up every week and fucking starts supporting NFTs or whatever the fuck else they're doing wrong. And so people are like, nah, this is the last straw. Here's some alternatives. And you look at the list and it's like, well, I'm not gonna fucking use GIMP. And then like all the other,
Final Cut Pro.
Fucking
yeah. We use Windows Live Movie Maker.
Yeah,
from 2008.
Fucking and like dude, I had Sony Vegas. Was what I started on because I didn't want to pay Adobe money when I first started YouTube, and I dead ass, and I torrented it, but I torrented it like a Sony Vegas. I torrented like a Sony Vegas that yo, that was a crazy face, dude. I kind of got a little horny. You got me with that face, Kudos. I'm just I torrented it, and it was like one of those ones that like had a shit ton of seeds and everything. So like you knew like not only was it popular, but like mad people were always downloading it all the time. So like this is the one everyone used, and I downloaded it and I used it for like a week, and it actually, no meme, bricked my entire computer. I had to reset my computer to factory and lost it just, and I had used that computer for like 4 years at that point, so I just lost like 4 years of compuder.
Jesus.
Because Sony Vegas was like, damn, you're trying to export it. Because back then I didn't even know how to do anything. Like I would write words, but when I wanted text, I didn't know text was a thing in editing softwares. So when I wanted text to come up that didn't like take up a whole screen like a title card, I would write white text on black background in Paint, like Microsoft Paint. I would like draw it with the mouse, and then I would put it into Sony Vegas and hit screen in the layer thing, so that it would make the black go away. And so like I was just doing stupid shit like that, and it bricked my whole computer.
That's what I was about to say. It's like this man was using advanced blending modes, but he didn't know the text work. That's crazy.
Dude, it's crazy how
filet mignon, but with fucking Chef
with like
Boyardee
ketchup on it. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy when you're like when you're just starting out in something like so. With like so much like depth and stuff. Just I guess it probably applies to like any field, but we all know it for like media. Like you just do shit like that. You just like if you're not being taught by someone, you kind of just start doing stuff and look up tutorials and find little ways around it. Then you just kind of build from there, and you might build horrible etiquette, but like it's just how it happens. It's really it's interesting.
It's also
Learn
like
now,
you've got like, I guess because you're early on, you've got that real like fiery passion to learn the software. So like you'll spend ages doing really dumb shit like what you just did, James. Like if every time I had to have text appear on the screen, I had to go and save out like a PNG from Photoshop or something, I'd fucking blow my brains out.
That is like, what I started doing. Funnily
that's
enough.
the thing, but that's just what you do, and then like and then one day you'll talk to someone like Doplex or whoever. And they'll be like, oh, you can click here and do this, and you're like, oh,
this is epic.
I think I literally just fat fingered T, and then like the fucking capital like I, basically whatever that symbol's called, it came up like the text symbol, and I was like,
I've definitely learned a bunch of really cool things
like
Microsoft
Paint anymore. Courtney, I'll send you a screenshot of a video where I use that, and like. It's ridiculous because my handwriting.
I want to see this.
It's not. I mean, it's not even handwriting, but I just have terrible writing skills in general. It looks so stupid, but fucking.
That's
how
cool,
did we get here
I've definitely
from
learned
people
stuff just by
murdering
pushing
their
the wrong
girlfriends?
button as well.
Oh yeah.
Who knows?
I forgot that was our starting point.
I feel like I learned. Like I feel like you learn a lot in like editing suites like this or like DAWs or something by just like pushing shit on the keyboard, and it's like, oh, why did my mouse turn into a dildo?
That is
true.
You know
what sucks though is when you push a button and it changes something in the window and you like Control Z.
Don't know how to
just
fix
it just Control Z's like what's happening in your timeline. It doesn't change what you've changed in
That
the window.
still happens to me. I just have to reset my entire layout when I do stuff like that.
Speaking of people killing people with swords, I don't know if he
what
killed
did you
his wife
do
with a sword, but I'm loosely relating this.
He shot her in the head. Just to
I wanted to
put it out
talk.
there, but
I was talking to Jared.
I
about,
shot my girlfriend in the frontal cortex. You shot your
shot
girlfriend,
your girlfriend in the frontal cortex.
Whack his poopy.
Whack his pee-pee.
Sorry,
Andrew.
No,
Sorry,
it's
Andrew,
okay.
continue.
So I was talking to Jared about just
Who's Jared?
shit,
Fogel?
and he's my roommate.
There you go.
The beef fans probably saw him when we went to Seward in the
he was in that video.
He
was
sleeps
the
on
one
you and Courtney's beds at the
writing
end like
on
a
the
cat.
rock with the stick
Yeah,
with no seeming purpose.
They've discovered writing.
Shout out Jared.
Shout out.
Jared. Shout out. So I was chatting to him about, I think we were talking about Liberty stuff because we were both at Liberty together. And I brought up, there was this group of LARPers. at Liberty. And for anybody for some reason doesn't know, LARPers is just like live action role play, and so they have foam swords, axes, maces, and they just have battles. And they were really
completely
into
naked.
it. Yeah, completely.
Everyone always forgets that part.
So there were, I mean, anybody who sword fights in the middle of a campus, you can, whatever your thoughts on how these people looked, you're right.
You're probably right.
You're probably right.
And then if you spec into the like band kid class and then you just keep putting points in it, eventually you reach that.
Exactly.
So-
Like you basically get the most niche part of the band class, which
Exactly.
I was in band class, so I can say
I was
that.
in band as well.
I was in marching band, but
I was gonna say, Courtney, put up the clip of the kids having the Kingdom Hearts LARP in a snowy parking lot.
You're over, Sora. No. Hi. Hi.
Don't hit the camera, man.
Dual wield.
you showed us that the other day. But I haven't seen that in so long.
Hey, watch the camera, man.
But the people, let me just say, the people on campus doing that might be a little weird. But once you get to adults doing that, you get some pretty.
It kinda
epic
comes
people.
around
That's what
again.
I'm
Oh no!
saying.
Listen, I did that shit when I was younger. I would gladly duel any of you right now.
That's what I'm saying.
It's always a
Yeah,
good
same.
time. I cannot
Right.
sit on any high horse of that's not fun.
Exactly.
So, I lived my first year at Liberty. I lived on what was called the Annex, and it was this old motel that they had just transformed into dorms, and it was off of main campus. So, to be honest, the poor kids went there, and the weirder people went there. So, shouts out.
Do you think there's a
Shout
crossover
out.
between
Yeah.
how wide do you think the pussy in the middle of the Venn diagram is for poor people and weird people?
It is a pussy.
I don't think
I've never thought
normally
about
it's gonna. There's like a too big the pussy is, but the annex was just like
How big the
separate
pussy
from
is?
campus.
How big the
So
pussy
That's
in
the
the Venn
technical term.
diagrams.
That's what I learned in college. It's the pussy.
it does look like it.
But it's only if it's less than 50%, because if it's
Yeah.
like 80% covered,
then it's a
you've just
boobie.
got like. Well, no, then you just got a very wide
It's the
spread
pussy to
puss,
booby
and then the little,
pipeline.
the
I
little
mean,
slivers on the side of the
Do you not
flat.
take
Butthole.
macroeconomics? It's the pussy to booby pipeline.
Okay, so fuck. Oh yeah, to answer your question, I think the reason there was also a lot of weird people there is because it was like off of main campus. So you kind of felt secluded from a lot of the noise
Sure.
and
Yeah,
main shit
yeah.
that happened.
You were also at a
Anyway,
Christian college, so you got a good
The way-
starting pool for weird people.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Everybody had
the
Jesus on
layout
their back.
was a lot of if you've seen older motels, you know the ones that are laid out kind of like there's a building, and then like a courtyard with maybe a pool in the middle.
Those are always the
Yeah,
creepiest,
so-
shittiest motels, but yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what it was, and there was a patch of grass in the middle, and there was 2 levels to each of the buildings. So I'm hanging out with some buddies, and we kind of start to hear like a little bit of commotion outside, and we come out, and there's a few people watching these LARPers just in the middle of everybody, starting up to spar a little bit, and.
Starting to have sex.
As you do, you get more and more intrigued into it, and you're like, oh, whoa,
was the-
that guy pulled a pretty crazy move.
Yeah.
And more and more people started to come out and watch them, and within half an hour, the entire bottom section of the buildings was lined with people. The rafters of the ones above were lined with people
Jesus,
banging,
that's epic.
banging
What
on
the
the
fuck?
sides.
That's
Someone was
awesome.
blaring the Braveheart theme, and everybody was just cheering like this
That's so
Thunderdome
epic.
for these
What the
LARPers.
fuck?
Cool as
Dude,
fuck.
they loved it. They were going sicko mode.
Dude,
with,
sword
like,
fighting
the
for
hype
30
of the
minutes
crowd.
is crazy.
Yeah.
That's
They, were,
so
they,
good.
they must have
I'm not
been
gonna lie.
well-conditioned LARPers.
Yeah.
And then it happened my next year at Liberty. And people, once again, kind of came out. It wasn't as hype as the first time, but people came out. And I looked at my buddy John. I was like, I have an idea. Go get your GameCube controllers. So he got 2 of them out, and we sat on the
throw it at
grass.
them.
and just we threw the cord down the hill, and then we just like sat there with a GameCube controller, and before a round would start, we'd pick somebody and be like, that's my guy, and then we just pretended to play a fighting game, which was a stupid bit, but then some other guys were like, hey man, let me get in the next round, and so we switched out with people who would take over.
That's fucking
that'd be a bomb TikTok if this was 2021.
I know, it would have been so good.
Big facts. That's like picking which knight you think is gonna win at medieval times. It's like it's all scripted beforehand, but it's like, I want the Green Knight. He's got a big bulge. And then he loses, and you're like, I had no control over this.
And I just remembered this. We didn't even know. This was like early that year, so me and John didn't know anybody. And offhand, I can't remember if it was me or him. One of the guys decided like to go down. He's like, sure, I'll play around. He wasn't part of the LARPer group though. He takes a sword, and one of me or John just offhand went, my money's on Jammy Pants, because he was just wearing pajama pants, and that was his nickname for the entire year.
Oh, man.
It spread to everybody.
Fuck.
And everybody would go, hey,
him.
Jammy Pants, and he hated it.
Come on, man.
You didn't have to do him like that,
I only wore them once.
Jammy Pants.
Were they? Was it like? What was it like? Big anime swords? Was it realistic swords? Was it lightsabers? You know, what was
it real
There
swords?
was
Was it
a mixture of things.
Was it 2 keyblades?
Yeah, there
In
were
a
some
snowy parking lot.
wild-looking ones. There were some, smaller maces and smaller swords. One guy had this big-ass shield that he would, like, block people with, and then someone would try and, like, whip a mace around to hit him. It was crazy.
That's fucking epic,
cool.
bro.
They had a foam smith, is what they called him. Because we asked them how they got their weapons, and they're like, "Yeah, our foam smith lives on the hall. We have him make our weapons."
No, yeah,
for
like
us."
awesome.
real LARPing is fucking where like it's like dead ass weapons just like really well kept in some foam, and you can like really whack people. That shit's epic.
Yeah.
It's like
sick.
paintballing,
My
but
friend,
like
uh,
if guns wasn't there.
My friend Anton, he does like, I don't know if he does anymore, but he used to do sword fighting, like actual sword fighting, but again, blunted swords, like not actual sword fighting, but it wasn't foam, like it was actual metal swords. Yeah. And I've held his swords, they're fucking, it's like a full-on metal sword. You're like, goddamn. But I remember once he was like sparring with some guy, like sparring some fighting, not like having a nice Japanese bath. And he like, even though the swords are blunted, I guess the tip, like the point is still, like it's still a point.
Yeah.
I guess you can only blunt that so much. Yeah. And they were fucking fighting, and he accidentally stabbed all the way through the other guy's hand. And the crazy thing is, they were recording it, like, because I guess they were like going to look back to see, like, how's the technique. I'll see if I can get it off him, because like
you have to get
it's
that.
pretty. You can't see anything, like all you see is them like clashing swords, and all of a sudden the guy's like, ah, and like
that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
It was just so like, oh my god, are you okay? I don't know. It's so funny going from this immediate like battle to just, oh my god, are you okay? Oh my god. What'd you expect?
I actually filmed them one time. I
Really?
filmed I filmed the LARPers.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's really
I know where
offensive.
I
Can you not do that?
I found. I know where you can find the clips.
He's completely Andrew, stop.
Stop. What?
Hands away from the eyes, boy.
You know what you're doing.
Andrew.
Stop.
Bailiff,
Stop.
Do we need to have another racist
Doing a
court
normal
after?
thing.
and we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. So,
we're back.
yes, I did film the LARPers ones, and it was because I was on the film team for a Liberty
LARPers.
student-run late-night talk show that got started up by some friends of mine. And
Jimmy Kimmel.
it was supposed to be like a sketch show, Jimmy Fallon meets SNL.
That is the worst pitch I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah.
A Christian sketch late night crossover.
Yeah. What's the deal with
that sounds
Satan?
like suicide.
Yeah,
I've considered doing a video on it
You
for a while.
should.
you should. That's what
I
there
might.
footage?
there's a whole YouTube channel with it.
Please,
at the end-
you have
please.
to.
At the end
You
of the
have
story,
to.
I will drop the name so all of our beeflets can go watch some. But I'll probably do a
Please.
video on it, and because I don't talk to any of those fuckers anymore, so I don't really care what they think of me. So anyway, we did one segment for episode 1, and it was probably one of the funniest things we did because all it was just some interviews with some of the LARPers.
The LARPers have an organized story, and you guys are just after the bloodlust. Well, you could say that. More of the foam lust.
And then me and my buddy John, who is also film team, just ran through the battle like a war documentary, just watching people beat the shit out of each other, and which was cool and it was fun, but a testament to some of these people. There was one girl who was a little odd, and John was the only filming girl there. Her get ready for something, and I completely missed what he said.
You'll hear it later.
All right. So my buddy John was filming her get ready, and she was just kind of talking about her armor, her weapons, and stuff like that. And he asked, like, oh, you know, what about the swords? And she's like, oh, here's these. I got this swords. And she's like, I got this one from somebody. And she went, and this one my dead brother gave me. And then just kept talking. And my buddy John was like... I looked around and Courtney was there as well, and we were all like, man, we can't use that.
Fuck yeah, you
just
can.
drops this.
Dude, I
My
feel like
brother gave me this sword.
I feel like there's a very specific kind of nerd that would like LARP and stuff that they always overshare and are way too comfortable oversharing. It's like it's like a built-in character trait of the class that they play as.
That's the sort of bit that like would be on Nathan for you, and it would be the one thing that breaks Nathan. Like he'd just look at the camera and be like, like still trying to stay in character, but like clearly like
right.
You didn't drop the name of the channel.
I survived a storm last night.
Sorry, Kudos.
I
want to know the name of the channel.
Shit.
Yeah,
Give us a Scream, Doplex.
Oh.
The one time a Scream would have been appropriate and he wasn't really.
I know. I was waiting for
it. So yeah, for anybody who wants to go watch some of these sketches, the name of the channel is After Curfew.
Ennui.
After Curfew.
By the way, keep hashtag Get Burger on Ennui going.
Yes.
There's currently some great traction on that
Get Burger
hashtag.
on Ennui for sure.
Get Burger on Ennui. And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
So Kudos, I understand that you survived a storm last night.
I did. It was very cool. Melbourne had like the most intense like winds and rain and thunder and shit I've ever seen. And very exciting. I woke up at like 4 a.m. and my girlfriend was like, we should
hanging out the window.
Bring it. Yeah, and I was like, get back here, woman. I just closed the blinds. I don't have time for this shit.
I'm trying to leave. I gotta be at my desk in the other room in 4 hours.
Finish this sentence, like, please.
That's what the winds outside sounded like.
Yeah. Pretty much, but like we have this just table and chair set that's like it's very tall, so it's very like kind of top heavy, and it always fucking falls over. And I just know one day it's gonna fall and smash like one of our glass doors. Like a sliding door, whatever, and then it's like, what do you do then? You just have a giant gaping hole in your house which you can't close.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm used to having one giant hole in my house, but a second would be a bit too much. So I had to go out there like in my underwear at 4 a.m. It was absolutely freezing, but I was like it was like kicking off. So I had to like scramble out there at 4 a.m. and like quickly like lay everything down. Meanwhile, I'm like still half asleep and it's absolutely fucking freezing. But I was like, I don't think I've got time to get dressed for this shit. So anyway, laid it all down. Nothing smashed. Went out this morning. Our neighbors have like they have a dog and they've got this little like AstroTurf thing for him to shit in. That's just like in the balcony below us now.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I thought you were gonna say the dog flew away from him.
Yeah.
Dude, the dog is so small,
on
probably
his
would have.
AstroTurf carpet, like fucking Aladdin.
I can show you the world.
Last I checked, there was feces on it as well, so I like to imagine there's just like dog shit just fucking
somewhere in the world. It just
smeared across the street,
sent into the ether. There you go, my children. Peace.
There you go.
Eat. A gift from God.
It was crazy though. It was like we went for a walk today, and there's just like trees, so many trees just ripped out or like snapped out, and
damn.
It's
the
kind of
Earth
cringe.
is climate change in itself, yo. What the fuck?
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think
That's
Australia's one of the worst
self-harming
places
shit.
to get hit by climate change, so definitely stick around here forever.
Bro.
Hell yeah.
Bro, was the storm epic?
It was very cool though. It did get
That's
to that
what's up.
point where it was like last night with just the thunder and lightning was like, oh, this is amazing, like the whole sky lighting.
Yeah,
up.
that's-
But like at 4 a.m. after I put the stuff away, it was a little cozy, but it was the wind was so strong it started to get to that like this is getting a bit scary. Like it goes from being cozy to scary. It was like it sounded like our windows were about to like burst in. You know, like it was that strong.
Your windows
sound.
about to be bussin', and then you'd be bussin' into tears.
The storm got us.
I listened really close. And I just heard, "Oh, I'm about to bust."
Oh, I'm about to bust.
Window.
Senpai, cream pie. One time
to bust.
There it is.
One time we were drinking with this Korean girl from work, and we convinced her that cream pie is cheers in Japanese.
What? Is what? Cheese?
Cream pie.
Cream pie.
For the record, I think it's cum pie. That's cheers in Japanese. So it's like
cheers.
kind of
He said cream pie.
cream pie.
Hey, you should look it up. You should Google images
fucking
cream
epic.
pie. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I lick your eyeball? And we're back.
What the fuck was that? Gordy, leave that in. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I lick your eyeball? So last week, when I was emo, I painted my nails, and I was able to get everything off except the nail polish because I didn't have like acetone or whatever.
Right.
So I had to wait till I went to my parents' house on like Saturday or Sunday, and we filmed on Thursday. And so my nails were like blue for a couple days. I didn't really care. But I went to. There you go. I went to Chick-fil-A the next day on Friday.
Oh no.
And I went up to the.
No. That's the worst place you can go with painted nails.
I was trying to figure out that. Yeah. So I didn't even think of that. But I went to Chick-fil-A. And I was waiting, I live in Florida, so I was like waiting to get a comment about it. But I pulled up to this motherfucking drive-thru, and wait, no.
They called you an F slur right out the bat.
I was
No hesitation.
I was thinking about that because I was like, I'm because they're if you don't know, Chick-fil-A donates like shit tons of money to anti-gay and like anti-LGBTQ plus shit. So I was like pulling up, being like. Because you can't really hide it in a car.
They
it's
also
like
make a good
I'm
chicken
like,
sandwich.
I gotta hand him a card and I'm driving and I gotta grab the bag. So I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna get discriminated against because like, just because my nails are colored or something and I'm a guy. But I reach in and this girl is like, damn. That color looks
farted on my dick.
She farted on my dick. She's like, damn, that color looks really good on you. And like, I don't ever get compliments on anything in real life. So I was caught very off guard, and I was like,
I compliment you all the time. What are you talking about?
No, I mean from strangers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're like my mommy, but like from like people that I don't know. And I was caught off a little off guard. And I was like, "Oh, thanks, girl." And I was like, "Fuck."
Now they got me.
Yeah, because I was just like, dude, something about being complimented on my nails, and like being like, is someone gonna like be like. Homophonic to me, like in this drive-thru. Like I was like, I like built up this thing, and then she's like, "Oh, nice nails. That color looks really good on you." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, girl." And I was like, I just like totally leaned into the role. Like I was just like,
right.
So, but I mean, it's not like I thought it was really funny, but I kind of just like drove away or whatever. And then I went to go get Chipotle the next day. And I forgot that my nails were colored, and I walked in and I went to go pick up because I just order online and I pick up the thing at the little stand in the back,
Out
and
of the trash.
there was like, yeah, exactly. You can't really be splurging on Chipotle right now. And there was just like this, and it's like a very targeted walk because you're skipping the line, and there was a dude sitting at a table right next to it, like 50-year-old white dude, that was like waiting for his food, and he like spotted me as soon as I walked in and like fully stared at my nails. Like while I was walking toward him, like the entire time, and then just like looked up at me when I passed him, and went like, and
Are you serious?
I didn't do anything, but like,
Yeah.
But it was just that like that dichotomy, because it's like I went to Chick-fil-A,
Right.
they hate gay people, allegedly.
Right.
And this girl's like, damn, you look fucking fire. And then I went to Chipotle,
Yeah.
which I guess Chipotle is supposed to, Chipotle to me is kind of
Chipotle
like
is
a
the
millennial
gayest
spot.
fast food place.
Dude,
Right.
honestly, it kind of is. Like the whole aesthetic they
Yeah.
have, like it's definitely at least like hipster millennial type beat. But I
Yeah.
walk in, there's like
It's
a
the Twitter
50-year-old
of
dude, and he's
food.
like just verbally wanted to make sure that I know that he knew that he disapproved of my personal choice.
Right. Yeah.
I love that, like the fucking dipshit mentality where it's like,
Yeah.
there'd be the same people as well who would be like pissing themselves over personal freedoms, which
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
which I'm all for, but then turn around and be like mean that someone else also is doing.
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like he wasn't wearing a
Right.
mask. I didn't say anything. I was wearing a mask. Everyone else was wearing a mask because COVID's like peaking again in Florida. This guy wasn't. But it's like, you're potentially killing people. I have blue nails. But you made the comment. It's like,
Who's tearing down Western society here?
exactly. But that kind of got me thinking about because really my whole life's revolved around YouTube for like 5 years. I don't really care about anything else. So like,
Right.
the only compliments I ever get is about YouTube stuff. But like, at a certain point, I guess it's like when your mom compliments you, it's like, oh, well, you're my mom. It's like when
Me.
people that watch your videos, exactly you. When people that watch your videos, also you, compliment you, it's like, it doesn't really mean anything to you anymore at a certain point. Like, it means something that they did it, but it doesn't convince me that I'm any better or worse than I already was, like whether people hate it or love it. Because it's, you just have so many insecurities around it. But recently I started working, I don't think I mentioned this anywhere, but I started working for Tiny Meat Gang. I'm editing for them. I'm cutting like highlights of their podcast and like memeing them up and shit for their highlight channel. Thank you. And I found this, I haven't had compliments like affect me for like years, but now getting compliments on something that no one knows I did, because like there'll just be like a shit ton of comments that are like, yo, the editing on this is crazy, give this editor a raise, blah 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 blah. And like, so I kind of refound something that actually like impacts me, because it's like no one knows it's me, so they're not like doing it for any reason to like make me feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, I'm doing something good and people are receiving it, and they're just like want to mention it. There's no like ulterior motive.
Yeah.
And that shit got me feeling real good lately. So I want to know if you guys have anything in your life like that, because I feel like we're all at that point with YouTube where like, people saying, yo, this video is epic, like on something we made. Like, it's nice, but it doesn't make you feel like, oh, I'm the best.
Oh, my penis is pretty big. I'm the baby. I'm the baby. Oh, I'm the baby. Oh.
I think the closest I had was, I think I came across my name in the wild on Reddit. I can't remember what the fuck it was on.
It was a Twitter
It was
meme
on
the other
Farms.
day, or like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, it was really weird. I've just done this stupid, like, I can't remember what the fuck it was about. It was just it was about Mario washing his foreskin.
That's what
and
it
Chris
was.
Pratt
It was a Mario.
being
Yeah.
Mario.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
And it got like 1,000 likes on Twitter, which is like good for my account size. But then like it went onto like Facebook and Reddit and all these other places and
Yeah,
got
it
like
went
fucking
crazy
20,000 upvotes. It's really weird. It was weird that like it did
Yeah.
so much better on these other sites than my one. Anyway, I don't care anyway. It's not like that converts to fucking anything. But it was on like the dank meme subreddit, and I like checked the comments, and there were like people in the comments being like, "Oh, it's kudos! Like I love this stuff" or something. And I was like,
Yeah.
Like that was just like I still haven't come
That's
to
that
terms with the
shit I
fact
want to
that
hear.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
not
that's
at a
pretty
size
bad.
that like anyone gives a fuck.
Yeah.
You know? And again, they just did it on some random Reddit post that they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't know that I was looking at it. They just did it as like,
Exactly.
hey! So I thought
That's pretty
that was the most
epic.
recent one for me.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
What is funny, just not to sidetrack too much, but what is funny about that that your Twitter posts that people stole, it's funny because instead of them like just stealing the meme and just copy and pasting what you said, they just screenshotted the tweet and posted that, and that got a lot of traction. Like I've never seen that happen before with like not even like a stolen meme, like they were at least crediting you for it, but it's almost like skipping that step, but like they're getting more
well, I guess
feedback from it.
I guess it's because they took it off platform. Like I'm sure like if someone else did it on Twitter, they would have just stole the picture like Kudos uploaded and tweeted the same words. But like I guess when you go to Reddit and Facebook, it's like look at this dank meme I found, and then like top bottom text and emoji.
I've definitely seen that, like people taking screenshots of tweets and uploading it to Reddit. Like that's pretty common.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It would probably some YouTuber with like 2 million subscribers would probably just copy paste the image and my caption and post that, and then everyone would be like, "You're very funny."
Yeah.
Dude, how does he come up with this stuff?
I was thinking about that the other day. If you ever feel bad about like, because there's some Twitter outside of like drill, there's certain Twitter accounts I see where I'm like, this cunt is consistently so fucking funny, and I'm like,
Rainbow Fish.
And it's just people who I don't even like. They don't seem like they would necessarily be that funny from their videos. Like they might do videos that are like, I don't know, not comedy ones, but then their Twitter account is like just like full of bangers, like 10k likes, 10k likes, 10k likes. And then you realize like, oh, these are just mostly stolen. There are some exceptions. There are some people who are just genuinely like really funny and snappy on Twitter. But once you realize that, it's like it's so much easier to not be jealous of people who seem to have it like figured out on Twitter. Also it's Twitter, so who gives a fuck? But it can also be like, man, I'm putting out like tweets I know are funny, and then this guy's like just doing 10 times better. It's probably because they're stolen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's like Doplex,
I always,
except he doesn't steal them. Doplex always has bangers. Once a month, Doplex has some shit that gets 50k likes.
Yeah. Doplex just like charges up like Goku, and there's like,
and that shit always gives me anxiety when it happens. It honestly just stems from being blessed with the famous Justin Wang retweet.
The Justin Wang retweet.
Yeah, I'm just
I thought you were about to say like the best sense of humor ever.
Being blessed with a big penis like mine.
The Justin Wang retweet is like a fucking Pokemon card or some shit. It's like not. It's like one of those like. It's not like a Pokemon, but like an accessory one that like. I'm stupid, bro. I don't play card games. I'm not fucking stupid, but like one of those ones that makes the card better type beat. No offense, Kudos.
An item.
Yeah,
an item.
I said it multiple times.
So, well, speaking of cards, sorry, I know we're getting so sidetracked from your talking point, but I just have to plug it. Kudos has a new video about card games. Go watch it.
Fuck yeah, he does.
Oh,
what the fuck? Go watch that shit.
Yeah, go watch
can
it.
I'm gonna sidetrack you even more. Can I
do it?
I got the funniest comment I've ever gotten. And I really want to read it for you guys.
Read it.
So
Cordy, put it on screen. And you read it.
I'll mostly just read it.
Okay.
Corny, don't put it on screen. Put a different picture on screen. Put that different picture on 2 more times. So I have heard this
while
before,
Kudos is reading it, put up the guys fighting with the Keyblades in the snowy parking lot.
So someone made a suggestion for a scandal, whatever you call it, for if I did a Yu-Gi-Oh video, which I would like to do one day. And they said, in Yu-Gi-Oh there's a spell card, Yu-Jo Friendship, where you have to offer your opponent a handshake. I have heard of this card before. It's like one of these weird like, you know, whatever cards where you have to offer your real opponent a handshake, and I think it's something like if they decline it, you get like a whole bunch of stuff, but if they shake your hand, then they like you split it, sort of thing. So it's, I don't know, it's a weird card, but anyway, they're obviously just making shit up back in like the early days.
Right.
So he says, and your opponent can choose to accept or decline the handshake, and the proper effects will resolve accordingly. However, if you activate Yu-Jo Friendship while having the spell card Unity in your hand, your opponent must accept the handshake. Not entirely sure how that works, but whatever. This made some players theorize the infamous Yu-Jo Unity strat, where you put your entire hand up your ass before offering the handshake. Your opponent will forfeit the game, rather than accepting the compulsory nasty handshake, and you win.
I was like trying to think where that could possibly go, and like I was going in so many different directions, but not the most obvious one. Just putting your hand up your ass.
I got so funny. So apparently now there's an official ruling that states your opponent doesn't have to physically shake your hand. He merely has to accept the idea and intention of a handshake.
That fucking sucks then. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Dude,
so
when you said
it's
put
like
your
not
hand,
a good card.
Yeah. When you said put your hand, I thought you meant like, you know, like in...
Oh, your dick? Yeah, no.
Yeah, like I thought, like the cards in your hand or like whatever, like what the things you've drawn. But so I was like, he shoved... Like, is it maybe you had to like put it in your hand and you both had to shake
your
to
physical
activate
human
it?
hand.
Yeah. I was like, you have to reach in your butthole and like gape you to get your cards back or something.
Come and get it.
So wait a minute.
He's
Does
just
that
like,
mean did the rule
credit card
change
swipe
because
your
of the
fucking
theory?
Gooch.
Like someone looked at the theory and was like, "Oh, this could go badly, so we'll change the rules to preemptively." There we go. There it is, to like preemptively stop that, or did someone at a tournament just go,
actually
Here you go. I know they got that ass fucking.
You like to think it's the former,
Yeah.
but a lot of the times these like companies don't do anything until they're like forced to. So it probably like I don't know if he would have like fisted himself, but someone probably could have just like wiped their hand on their like poorly wiped ass and been like, "Here you go,
dude." Imagine how
shake my hand.
Oh, there you go, James.
No, you go.
There is another Yu-Gi-Oh rule, which I think I'll put in the video, which is quite funny, which is, that was pretty good. I only just got that. But there's literally a rule in the Yu-Gi-Oh like rule book now that says like you can't have like a bad odor or something along those lines, because like I guess it was theorized that people could like show up smelling like shit. And like, have you ever just tried to like think while you're sitting next to an incredibly unpleasant odor like that?
Yes.
Like like people, and the sort of people who play like card games and Smash Bros and shit, they'll do anything to get like an edge that's like tournament legal.
No, totally.
So if it was like, hey, don't shower for a week, show up and smell like rotten onions and your opponent won't be able to think properly, someone statistically is gonna do that. So it's interesting that they literally had to put that in the rulebook. Like, no, you can't have like an odor that is considered like distracting.
Dude, imagine
crazy.
Well, what I was gonna
makes
say,
sense,
you built on even more. Imagine being the company that like your game is so meta and yet taken so seriously, but it's supposed to be a kid's game, that you need to come out and make official rules on people smelling like shit on purpose and credit card swiping their gooch, like as a competitive advantage. That's so pathetic.
It's cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Gamers be gaming,
sense.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, we be
Watch
gaming.
this.
Yeah. Now lick it. All right, let's rewind back into James's topic
Yeah,
here.
Doplex and Andrew have to
back.
answer, because I want to know. I want to know what makes
Andrew,
you guys happy.
You go first. What makes you happy, my sweet boy?
I think at this point, because I mean, like you said, like getting shit on YouTube, you know, comments like that, it's like it's always nice, and I'm always like, oh, thank you, like you took time out of your day to say this was nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But I think the stuff that will genuinely like make me is when someone I'm not too familiar with, like a casual acquaintance or something like that, either watches something I have written, like a short film, or like when I was in film school, this happened a lot more consistently because I was making more shit. That's really the only thing that does it at this point, is if someone compliments my writing or filmmaking ability.
Yeah.
Because that is something I'm always,
That's where your passion lies.
Yeah, I want to be better at that. So
Well,
if someone's like, yo, your dialogue is really good, I'm like, oh, thank you.
On that note,
scene is really
I've been wanting to see Andrew's thesis film for probably almost the entire time I've known him now, which is almost 2 years. So please bully Andrew for the opportunity to make him feel nice by complimenting his thesis film.
I would also love to see that.
I've seen clips of it. I've seen bits and pieces of it. Like, edited, but not really like, or like kind of like after a line cut, and it's fucking awesome. But he hasn't ever finished it, so
I
really want to see it very badly.
Put it on a DVD and send it to us. We'll frame it on the wall.
He has to edit it.
VHS.
Oh.
You bring up an interesting point, though. Oh, fuck. Well, this sucks, isn't it? We stand in a crossroads, Andrew.
We stand at a crossroads.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mine wasn't important, though.
You guys gotta shake hands.
Oh, no! It's interesting you say that, like, the stuff that you want to get better at, because I think, like, I was thinking about when I was watching that William Osmond video where, like, the comments that hit you, that hurt you, like the mean comments, it's only the ones that hit something you're insecure about. Yeah. Like, if someone hits you with, like, oh, this joke wasn't funny, and I was like, I'll be like, well, I thought it was funny. Fuck you.
Yeah,
But then if someone hits you with something that you are actually kind of like, oh yeah,
your timing on this joke is just a little off, and to me, that's pathetic. You should have refilmed it. And you're like, but my timing was off, but I thought it was good enough.
Yeah, like if you thought like this thing, you know, so. That stuff you can brush off, but it's interesting that you made that point. The flip side, where the compliments that really hit you, are, I guess, the stuff you're not insecure about, but like the stuff that you like pride yourself on. It's like just the reverse of that, where people can be like, oh, this bit was really good, and you're like, oh, that's cool, but that was kind of, you know, whatever. But then if it's like, oh, I really liked. Like when people like compliment the backgrounds I make or whatever, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking it was for you too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that, and you know, there's a few things, but that's like, I guess, like unique things. When someone does notice that, I'm like, yeah.
And there's like no reason for them to really comment about that other than like it you know, because it's your background, but for them it was right up in their face, and they were like, yo, that shit's sexy.
I guess let's go. Yeah, for people who like recognize like the effort that goes in, or whatever. But, anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about Doplex.
Who's that?
What makes your penis
the stinky
hard?
one?
Who are you talking to?
You're not tournament legal, Doplex.
I guess for me, I mean, you know, just like our sweet Jay Millie over here, I work for Hundred Thieves as an editor. And honestly, like, there's been like, obviously, you know, the people who watch TMG versus the people who watch 100 Thieves are like completely different audiences, I'd imagine, to a degree. Like there is like some cross, but for the most part, it's like kind of different in terms of like editing. And I sometimes like to edit really stupid shit, and you know, they're like, sometimes I'll edit something and I'll over edit because I think it's funny. Like I think it's funny to just like, you know, make somebody like melt, or like, you know, turn someone into soup, or put like a reverb fart in the background. So like for me, it's really like in terms of like editing, like I guess like what will hurt is if somebody's like, oh, this was an editor on drugs. I get that a lot. That's
dude,
really funny.
I get that here and there too.
Yeah, because you and I, we have similar editing styles, so I'm sure you get that a lot.
It's funny too, because it's like, have you ever tried to do anything on drugs? You could like, if I did anything on drugs, I'd probably I'd look at Premiere for like 5 minutes and then be like,
and then lie on the floor.
Yeah, I can't fucking handle this shit, man. And then just like go and fucking watch it. Adventure Time or something. So that idea is always like a really funny one.
I know, yeah. But for me, what makes me happy is like getting compliments on my editing from, honestly, same as you, James, but like more so like from the people who employ me. So like, like, you know, I edited something for 100 Thieves. It was like a very like sentimental video. It was about Nadeshot, and Nadeshot loved it so much that he actually like reached out to me, and that was like, that was like a weird thing. I was like, oh shit, like the fucking owner of the company loved this video that I made about him, and
I loved the video, but did you really have to put the reverb fart behind
you? Were you on drugs when you edited it? You're like, no, I swear.
Didn't Super Mega do that in a really sentimental video for somebody? It's like the Ninja Sex Party guy from Game Grumps. What's his name?
Danny.
Yeah, there's like an infamous thing for Super Mega where like they were editing like a sentimental thing for Danny, and at some point he's like filming it in his car, and he just like lifts in his seat a little bit to reposition himself. Like they said they spent like as much time like editing this fart as the video to make it sound real as shit.
Courtney, put that in here.
Hello there, it is Danny. Before you start this episode of Game Grumps, I was hoping perhaps I could interest you in checking out the new NSP video.
Courtney, play it.
I do love that. Yeah,
My fucking camera froze again.
Oh no!
Hey, it froze on a really cute picture of you. I'm just gonna say.
That's
Look
true.
at me cheesing.
Hold on, I gotta show you guys this one sound effect I found that's like so funny to me. I don't know why.
All right.
Andrew's back.
My name is C. Bangs. What the fuck are you talking about? My name is C. Bangs. What the fuck are you talking about?
My name is C. Bangs. What the fuck are you talking about?
Where do you find these sounds?
So
Jeff?
funny. Dude, just YouTube Shorts has some bangers recently. It's just,
There's some bangers and then 500 like videos of just
it's not
mush.
worth the,
Yeah.
Fucking.
I also found a really good sound effect.
I touch children. I touch children.
Burger pot.
If anyone's wondering,
ennui.
people probably don't know. Yeah, so we mentioned last week there's the burger podcast that James and Andrew went on. And
I touch children.
he was recently found. The police raided his home and he had like 16 terabytes of child porn, like on different laptops.
No.
So we tuned in. They.